Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt here with Tanks Lawn Maintenance. It is 8 a.m. Tuesday morning, May the, I do believe it's May the 15th. I'm sorry, it's May the 14th, 2024, year of our Lord. 8 a.m. Monday morning. And it is an absolutely not beautiful day here in Evans, Georgia. It rained again last night, guys. It rained yesterday for probably about 2 hours. I had to quit in the middle of my mowing route because the rain was just so heavy. Normally I'll keep pushing through if it's just a normal rain or a light rain, but this rain was heavy, man. And it rained for about 2 hours, and we got a little over an inch of rain in those 2 hours. It was a good rainstorm, and I don't know how much we got last night, and I don't know how hard it rained. I passed out probably about 9:30 last night, and slept right through it. But I do know that it was supposed to be raining all day today, and supposed to be thunderstorms all day today. But the forecast has since changed. It's supposed to rain starting about 10 o'clock, and go on till about 1, and then stop for about 2 hours, and then start back up and continue on through the night. So I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to get done today, if I'm able to get anything done. I walked in the backyard about 30 minutes ago, and like I probably told y'all before, but my backyard is a pretty good gauge of how the yards in my area are, and it's just saturated. But I am gonna go to all my properties just to see and check, make sure I can't get on them, man. I don't wanna just not make an appearance. And I don't have many today. I've got five, but the five I got, they're big boys, and their yards is gonna take me between an hour and a half and an hour and a half and 2 hours. And they're big yards today and tomorrow, and rain is a good thing. You know what I mean? Rain is a good thing because in about 2 weeks, you're not going to be able to buy a raindrop for about 3 months. And so I'm going to suck every bit of this up while we can. But I'm going to tell you right now, all this rain that we're getting right now is going to suck here in about 2 weeks because it's going to be so muggy that you can't breathe out here. But it's part of it, man. You just gotta keep pushing through, man. You gotta keep pushing through. Set yourself up for success is what I like to say. But as you can see, let me turn y'all around. Sounds like a school bus or a trash truck's coming. But as you can see, my driveway's wet, and so are the neighbors. And matter of fact, we evidently got a decent amount of rain last night because it's pushing pine straw out of my bed right there. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. But all out through there, the road is soaking wet. There's actually a river on my side of the road. I say a river, there's a trench right there in between my driveway, in between the grass and the road. There's a trench right there, and the water is flowing pretty good. It's probably about an inch deep and steadily flowing. Turn y'all back around. But yeah, we evidently got a pretty good amount of rain last night, and I don't know. I don't know how much, don't know how bad it got, but it was a good bit. And it may have just been a steady rain all night, I don't know. But it was enough to soak everything down to where I can't put a mower on it right now. But hopefully these yards that I have today, they'll be dry enough for me to get out there and get some stuff done, man, because it's supposed to be dry tomorrow and Thursday, and that's a good thing because I've really got to get some bushes trimmed Friday. I've got some huge bush jobs that's overdue. The size of these bush jobs, I really don't like to put no more than two per day because they're going to take me all day. But I'm actually probably going to have to hire my neighbor. He's a college student, and pay him to help me. And probably going to have four of them this coming up week. And if I have to work Saturday, I have to work Saturday, man. It is what it is. It's part of it, man. But with all this rain, all I can say is good times is coming our way. And that's one thing. That's one thing that keeps my head up during these rain showers, man. Is sooner or later it's gonna quit, and when the rain stops and the sun comes out, and its temperature starts creeping up to 95 and 100 degrees, that grass, especially down here, that Bermuda grass is gonna grow like a weed, and my phone's gonna be ringing off the hook, man. I call it the Memorial Day rush and the Chuck rush. That's when it gets a little too hot for Chuck to be out here cutting grass, so he hangs it up for the year, and all of his customers that he was charging $35 and $40 start calling people like us. And that's a good thing. Like I said, man, the rain is a good thing. It keeps us in business. But I want to share a mistake that I made with you guys, and hopefully you can learn from it. I talked a little bit about it yesterday. Last Friday, I got all three of my mowers stuck in a man's property. The week before last, 2 weeks ago, he had a pipe burst in his yard, and I tried to get in his backyard and I couldn't. When I tried to walk back there, I would sink above my ankles in his and just all along the right side of his house and a little bit past his gate. I couldn't get anything back there, and I'm not mowing, or I'm not weed eating that backyard, that entire backyard. That's not happening. He's not paying me enough for that, and he's not wanting to pay me enough for that. So yeah, I'm not doing that. But he got his pipe fixed, and he thought that I was going to be able to go back there and mow that day. And I had to explain to him that it takes time for these things to work themselves out. For one, I have a route that I have to complete before I can get over there. As soon as I get that route completed, I would go by and check. And not to mention the fact that it was fixed that day, and it looked like it had been busted for 2 weeks, as much water that was back there. He actually had standing water back there and water running out of his backyard. But and it was just too soft to even walk on, let alone mow. But I had to explain to him it's probably going to be a few days. You got to give it a few days to let it dry out, because I can't get any equipment back there. It's just too soft. I understand that the water's gone, but you still got a lot of moisture in the ground. Went by there, checked, and of course it was still very saturated. It was like fluff mud, like what you'd see in a duck swamp or something like that. But went back that was on a Friday when he got the pipe fixed. I went back that following Monday, and I told him, I went back. That was the first yard I went to that morning, and I was actually in the neighborhood in this area all day. And I told him, I said, listen, your yard is still a little too saturated. I said, I'm gonna knock this route out and I'm gonna come back. It should be dried out enough by then that I can at least get a push mower on it, and I will get you taken care of. Well, about an hour later it started raining, and it didn't stop raining. It rained the entire day. That was this past Monday. Well, I didn't get anything mowed that day. So the next day I came out, and of course all the rain we had with the water that was already in his yard, it made it soft again. So I told him, I said, listen, we're going to give it a few days. And I checked on it every day. I told him, I said, I'm going to check on it every day. We're going to get you taken care of. And he kept on and on and on about it. My backyard looks like a forest. My backyard looks like a forest. I'm going to have snakes. Well, I went by there Saturday, this past Saturday, and it was almost dried out. I texted him, I told him, I said, listen, I'm going to put you first on the list Monday. It's not supposed to rain at all until Monday evening. And sure enough, it didn't rain. Didn't rain at all. Well, got to his house, and sure enough, it was raining. So, couldn't do anything. Well, that started the process all over again. Well, he got a little impatient, and I started getting irritated. I let it get the best of me, and I decided I was going to prove a point. Friday, I went over there, tried to put a push mower on it. The push mower sank down like a plunger, and I couldn't get it out. So I tried to get it out with the 36, and got it stuck. Tried to get the 36 out with the 61, and turned up getting it stuck too. So I had to get all three mowers out with the truck. Screwed his yard up, man. Tore it up. I told him, I said, look, I sent him pictures of it. I said, this is what happens when you try to mow a saturated yard. I said, I cannot get your yard mowed. I said, I tried as hard as I could, and I just cannot get equipment back there. I said, we're gonna try it again. We're gonna give it the weekend again, let it dry out. And once we finally get it mowed, it will dry out a lot faster because the sunlight will be able to get to the ground easier. He said, okay, sounds good, and I apologize. I told him, I said, but in the meantime, I'm going to get some sand and some topsoil mixed together, and I'm going to fill in these holes in your yard that I just created with the mowers. And he said, okay, just whatever you've got to do, just add it to the bill. I said, all right. Yesterday morning, first thing I did was went to Lowe's, got some topsoil and sand, and it was a lot. I mean, it took a lot of sand and topsoil. It took, I want to say it was 7 bags of sand and 3 bags of topsoil that I mixed together and used a wheelbarrow to dump it out, and used a landscaping rake to smooth it out. Well, when I got there, he was running his sprinklers. I walked around his yard, and sure enough, the entire thing, front yard, backyard, all of it was just soaked. I couldn't do anything. I mean, just walking in the front yard, I was sinking a couple inches, and just too much where I couldn't get any equipment on there. So I texted him. I said, look, I said, I can't do anything. I said, I went ahead and smoothed your stuff out. I said, I weed eated right here in this area so the sunlight can get to the ground quicker. I said, but I can't mow. I said, I can't mow your yard. And I said, your entire yard is soaked. I said, I told you that I needed this yard to dry out, and I come over here and you've got the sprinklers running. I said, as much rain as we've had over the past few weeks, and as much rain that is coming this week, you shouldn't be running your sprinklers at all. And he said, well, I don't understand. He said, when I lived in New York, that's where he's from. He's from New York. And nice guy. Yeah, really nice guy. And he said, well, when I was living in New York, I could run my sprinklers for 30 minutes every single day, and it was no big deal. They could still mow. I said, that was a different type of turf. I said, I don't know what kind of grass you had. I'm assuming it was probably fescue or Kentucky blue or something like that, a cool season grass. I said, I don't know how that stuff works. I don't know how you water things up there. I said, I've never been up there. I said, but down here, these properties in this neighborhood, they're not built to drain well. I said, for one, you need to have a French drain dug. I said, I'm not telling you to do that. I said, but that's ideal. You need a French drain because you've got all the water collecting right here in this area by your gate. That's one reason why it's taking so long. I said, another reason is if you're watering this lawn 30 minutes every single day, you're watering it way too much. I said, you've got a sign in your front yard from your weed and fert guy. I said, if you're watering it that much, you're washing all those chemicals out of the yard, and it's not doing anything, for one. And for two, Southern Turf, Bermuda, what we have here is only required a ½ inch a week. I said, if you're mowing or you're watering 30 minutes every single day, 7 days a week, I said, you're looking at 3 or 4 inches. I said, you do not need nowhere near that much water. I said, you're wasting your water bill is all you're doing. You're running it up for no reason. I said, but you definitely shouldn't be running your sprinkler system this much right now with all the water we've had come out of the sky. And he said, oh, wow, I didn't know that. And I said, yeah, I said the irrigation system needs to be cut off. It needs to be cut off for about a week and a half, at least, so this stuff can dry out. And he said, well, how do you turn it off? I said, I'd have to go in there and look at it. I said, if it's an older style, you should be able to just turn your knob back to the off position. I said, but if you're not sure, just unplug it. Just unplug it And when it's time to cut it back on, I'll come in there and reset it for you. But you're watering your yard way too much. I said, you're adding water to something that's already flooded. I said, it's not helping at all. So his yard didn't get mowed. But I took a huge rabbit trail. But what I'm trying to get at is I made the mistake, and against my better judgment, I got irritated because a customer was rushing me and went and tried to mow something that I knew couldn't be mowed, and it wound up costing me money. So what I'm trying to say is learn from my mistakes, man. If you know something is too soft to put a mower on, don't do it, man. Don't do it, because like yesterday, it costed me a little over $60 to fix that property, and not to mention the time that it took to fix it. I mean, it probably took me an hour. But I had to drive to the big box store, had to go buy the stuff, had to come back home, grab a wheelbarrow and a shovel, mix it up, and then dump it out in several different spots. But it costed me about an hour. Well, if you count the time that it took me to run back and forth to the store, it costed me about an hour and a half, 2 hours, plus about $60. So the next time I mow his lawn, I'm basically going to be mowing his lawn for free. But I didn't charge him for it. He told me to add it to the bill. I didn't, even though he was rushing me. I went against my better judgment, and as lawn care professionals, we should know better. So don't do that, guys. If you know you can't get on somebody's property because it's too wet or too saturated, just stay off of it. Let it dry out. If you have to work on a Saturday, you have to work on a Saturday, man. But anyway, guys, just wanted to share that with y'all. I hope that y'all can learn something from my mistake. I hope you already knew, but I really hope you can learn something from my mistake. And even more so, I really hope it dries out here. We're starting to get a slight breeze. Hopefully that'll help pull some of the moisture out of the ground. And but as soon as it dries out, man, we're getting after it. And probably gonna be working till dark, because like I said, I've got some big properties today. But it's all good, man. I'm anxious. I'm ready to get out here after it. And it could be a lot worse, man. I could be punching a time clock somewhere. But anyway, guys, I hope y'all aren't dealing with rain. And I hope y'all are getting out there and chopping it up today, man. Hope y'all kill it today. Hope y'all have a good day. But until the next one, y'all keep cutting that grass and keep making that money. Holla at y'all. Bye.